Teenage drinking is awesome.
Yeah.
Teenage drinking.
Right away when I hear that, when I hear about a young person who's drinking, look, there's a couple of different levels of this, of course. There's, I guess, a teenage person who is really curious. Maybe some friends at one point are going to be drinking a lot at a party or before a party, and they're wondering what it's like, what they're going to feel like, and so they meet them, and it happens, and they get kind of sick, and so it's a bad experience, and they never do it again. Well, that's one kind of possibility. Other possibilities are someone who maybe drinks once every month or something like that. It's a rare thing, but it happens on a semi-regular basis, and that's a whole other issue. Who knows? I don't know what I feel about that. I mean, I think there's a concern even for that person who's like once a month or once every 2 weeks or something. The concern for me would be, first of all, what brings a person to drink in the first place? Obviously, they know that when they drink, their brain or their mind or their consciousness will be altered in some way. Why? The question I would wonder, why do you feel that you have to alter your consciousness in order to be happy? Is there something missing in your life where you lack a sense of happiness or joy? Or do you basically happy, but you just want to be really happy at a certain point? And what would make you feel that you need to go, and your brain needs to go somewhere else in order to feel happy? It's an interesting question. What I've found through chaplaincy, through young people talking to me for both drugs and alcohol, is that there's a lot of tension in their lives. There's a sense that life is painful. There's a lot of sadness. Maybe there's family problems. There's relationship problems. There's stress over school, stress over their relationships, and they just need a time or place where they can just escape from that kind of feeling, or get away from that feeling of tension or whatever. And drugs or alcohol helps them to get there. Makes them feel calmer, makes them feel... So the danger of that is that some of them are in what I would call psychological dependency. In other words, they couldn't even, they wouldn't be strong enough to stop. They don't want to stop it in their life because they're just looking forward to the next time where they can escape. The problem with psychological dependency is that the drug or the alcohol itself, for a while, becomes like a comfort or something that helps you to get out of the feeling that you're feeling. But then it in itself, if it becomes addictive, becomes a new problem. The actual chemical dependency or the psychic dependency starts to occur, and then addiction occurs, and then the chemical itself becomes a real threat to health, to the healthiness of the health of that person. And the dependency can be so great that they need daily fixes and everything. And then not only do you have a psychological, but an actual physical chemical dependency upon whatever you're using to take you out of the situation. So I would suggest to a young person that, first of all, what in your life is causing you to want to escape? And maybe you need to deal with that first. Maybe you need to deal with where the pain or the stress or whatever the anxiety is coming from. Deal with that first, because those things won't go away. They're going to come back, and as a matter of fact, they might be even exemplified, or it might be made extraneous because of the whatever narcotic or whatever they're using. Just the fact that it's illegal for anyone below 19 or whatever. The society is saying, geez, a lot of things are legal. Abortion is legal. You're allowed to kill your baby. But the society says, no, this is where we draw the line. We won't let you drink before 19, or we won't let you whatever. Just that, just the fact that the society is recognizing that there's a real danger here. And again, how are you going to get home and everything? And I don't think that the answer is just to make sure you're doing it responsibly. I would say, why do I find myself wanting to bring my mind into a place? Isn't my mind, or isn't my state of being, my consciousness, can't I find happiness in that? And I think people find, people who are really healthy, they find real true joy in their friendships, in activities, in God too, in their faith. They find true joy and true happiness. And that's a happiness that's not going to go away after the 2-hour or 3-hour fix, That's a happiness that's going to stay. And I think the church would say, deal directly with these things, but they talk a lot about your health and taking care of the body as the temple of the Holy Spirit. Your body is a temple, and you care for it. And also the idea that that we really have to work on the things that bring us stress and unrest, a lack of peace, and that we would want first to find peace in our lives. That we wouldn't need any kind of false peace, because the peace that comes, or the comfort, or whatever, the high that comes from these chemicals or whatever, is temporary. It's very temporary. And alcohol is a depressant. That's what it is. Any doctor will tell you that. And so you feel depressed eventually. You might feel a certain sense of euphoria during, and it might make you feel like less inhibited. So you tend to talk to people more and be more fun and everything. People don't even know when to stop, and so they become idiots. They act really stupid, and then they're not doing anyone a favor. And so there's a lot of dangers and a lot of struggle that you can go through, and a lot of things where you have to ask yourself, why do I find myself in this place? Why am I doing this?